When you've got your website up and running, or if you're trying to kind of build your business, then one of the things a key consideration is obviously going to be how are you going to drive traffic to your website. Now, of course, there's all sorts of paid methods you can use, like AdWords and Facebook and Google Shopping and all the rest of it. But one of the things you want to think about doing is providing content on your website, because if you produce great, interesting content, then hopefully people will link to it and share it with their friends, both on social media and through other means, and then it will just increase the visibility of your website across the internet. And a great way of doing that is by creating a blog on your website where you can put interesting articles that people can read and link to. So I'm going to show you how to do that now with Sellr. This is the Sellr demo homepage that you'll see when you kind of log into your control panel. And so for the blog, what you need to do is click on Website, Manage Your Blog. When you sign up to Sellr and you just create a website, by default, your blog will be at your domain name /blog. And if I flip to this other tab here, you'll see this is the Sellr demo store, and this is exactly what it will look like. So we've got blog there, you can search the blog, popular articles, topics, and about the authors, and it says there Simon. That is, of course, me. So if we go back to the control panel, the first thing, before you even start creating blog posts, you're going to want to create users that can manage your blog and create posts and that kind of thing. And you do that at Profile, User Logins. So you want to create some user logins here, and you do that, you just click on Add New Login. And also you can give yourself an image as well. There's a picture of me there. So you can that will appear on the blog as well. And if I just click on the edit link there, you'll see the details that have been used to create this user. And the important one here is blogging details. The user will post to the blog username Simon, and you can create various descriptions under there as well. So if I click on back, and of course if you log in as that user, then by default it will use that user as the author of the post, but you can change it, and we'll show you that in a second. So now let's create some blog posts. If we go to Website, Manage Your Blog. So this is just going to show all the blog posts. So I'll click on Add New Post. And so this is going to create a blog post. Let's firstly enter the title. Now, here's the thing about blogging. The first thing you want to do is obviously think of something to write about, but you want to gear it for what people are searching for in search engines, okay? So in this instance, I'm just going to write a post about how you can add a blog to the Sellr system. But for the title, I'm not going to put how to add a blog to the Sellr system, because there'll be a very limited number of people who would be searching for that. So instead, I'm just going to call it Why Have a Blog. Yeah, because some people might search for that, mightn't they? Why have a blog? And then I'll just paste in some text here. So here we go. I've just written some text there. The most important thing for most website owners is to get traffic to their website. A great way of doing this is to have a blog where you regularly publish interesting articles about topics which people might be interested in. Of course, the hope is that people will find it and share it, and then your internet profile will increase, which should ultimately lead to more sales. And now, so I want to put an image in this as well. And so just remember, you can drag and drop images. So I'm just going to put the Sellr logo in here. So if I just do that there and copy that there. Right, so that goes down there. Now, one thing that I find works quite well with these blogs is if you right-click on the image, select Image Properties, and then I always kind of align it to the right, and I select Captioned Image. This is like a kind of quirk of the editor, really. Select Captioned Image, but I'm not going to use a caption. It just gives it some nice sort of space around it. Now, when you've done that, you can click on this drag move to move the image around. Now, of course, this is like an HTML editor, so it's not like a graphical thing. You can't just drop it anywhere. It's within the bounds of HTML and how the page is laid out and that kind of thing. But what I find is if you put it, I'm going to put it like here, for example. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's pretty good. If I move it right up to the top, yeah, there we go. That's quite nice. And if I move this text down here, there we go. You can see this is the layout's starting to look quite nice there. So that's using the image properties aligned on the right. So then I'm just going to write a bit more text as well. There we go. So I've put in there, blogging is a full-time job for many businesses. Or if you're a very small business, then it's something, always a good idea to read it back once you've written it, that you should aim to do a couple of times a week just to keep the content fresh. Most of your blog posts will be read be read by few people, but now and again with persistence you can get blog posts which get picked up and result in many views. In reality, it's a numbers game. I hope this has been helpful. Let us know at Sellr what you think. Now, that's absolutely true. So, most of your blog posts probably won't be read by that many people. But now and again, you can get one that just gets picked up. Ultimately, if it goes viral, you get loads of people watch it. But you can get kind of mini viral blog posts where lots of people just end up reading it if you write about something really interesting. So you've just got to persist and keep writing about different things and always think about what search engines are looking for. Make sure there's lots of keywords in the text that you're writing and give it a proper title that is relevant and something that people might search for. So that's all I can do in this blog post for the moment, but let's have a look what we've got down here. So we've got topic. Okay, we haven't set up any topics yet. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Author is me. So in fact, here we are. So I'm actually, this is confusing. The user that I showed you that I set up is that one there, Simon. Now, when I logged in as admin, my admin name is actually Simon as well in the viewer edit profile. So I can choose from either of those. But if you've got lots of people doing it, you want to set them up with different users. So now, as you've probably seen on the home page of our control panel, we've got a what's happening feed. So if you want, you can just put it on there and other merchants can have a look as well. Why not? It's always interesting to read what other people are blogging about. And of course, you can see that on there yourself as well. If you've got Twitter connected, then you can add a scheduled tweet for when this post is published. And if you've got Facebook connected, you can do the same there. And also you can allow Facebook comments on this post. So you can set a publish date there. So you can set it to be in the future and you can enter tags there. These are just keywords that you can search for using the search engine. And visibility, whether it's currently visible or hidden. So you can create a post but not actually publish it yet by making it hidden. So if I click on save, there we go, that's what we've got there. So there's a couple of other options here. There's pinned. If you make it as pinned, then it will always be at the top of the blog list. And it shows you how many times people have read it. And there's a notified section as well. And I'll show you what that is. That's to do with, you can have people sign up to your blog so that they get notified whenever you make a new blog post, and that's a really good thing to do as well. So a few things to show you here. Firstly, let's look at where did we start. Facebook comments we mentioned in a second ago. If I click on, there's a link up here as well, Facebook comments, then you can make them active in there. And also you want to give it a Facebook moderator ID. And when you go to your personal Facebook page, look at the end of the URL on Facebook and it will have your ID and you just copy and paste that into there. And what that does is when you go onto when you read the blog page, it gives you some moderator tools with the comments at the bottom of the blog post. So in fact, let's have a look at the actual blog that we just created. If I refresh this, remember this is sellerdemo/blog. So look, there's a picture of me. Why have a blog? There's a title and a synopsis of what it's about. Click here to read the full article. And if I click there, you get the article there, which of course is the most popular article because it's the only one. And I haven't done topics yet, so let's just look at topics. If I go back to, so this is again, just to remind you, this is a website, manage your blog. And if we click on manage topics up here, let's do top tips. Yeah, obviously in your genre, you can do whatever you like. So let's do that. And then if you know what's going to happen here, if I just refresh that, you're going to see this topic top tips. But you know what, if I click on that, it's going to be nothing in it because I need to put that blog post in it. So if I click on back, edit the blog post, and then you'll see down here it says topic, and I'll put that in top tips and click on save changes. Now, a really important thing here, yeah, if you've scheduled the Facebook post, you'll notice these by default are not checked. Because if I was to tick them now, and I'd done it before, it would create another scheduled post. So only do it the first time you save it. So if you're editing it, just keep those two unticked, otherwise it will create another one. So there we go, I've saved that now. So if we just refresh this screen here, you'll see that the blog post will appear, which is in top tips there. So we've got the things there, and at the bottom there, about the author, it shows my name there as well. Now we might want to have a little description there. I think I touched on this before. If I go back to user logins, if I click on edit, we can have a blog short description. E-commerce expert, there we go. So if I save that, go back to the blog, refresh, it gives you a small bit of detail about yourself or whoever's doing the blog post. So now if we go back to manage your blog, there's a couple of other options here which are fairly self-explanatory. Image repository you don't need, all right, because you can just drag and drop the images anyway. There's a view button if you just want to see your post, you can click on that. So now let's look at notified. You want people to sign up to your blog and then get notified when you've got a new blog post. So how do you do that? You go to marketing, email marketing. Let's do pop-up email sign up. So blogging is the bottom part of the screen here. But before we do that, let's look at pop-up themes up here. These just little simple pop-up designs that you can use. There's some kind of designed ones or some very basic ones. So let's have, I'm just going to have this one here. And so tick it for the blog here. And then if you click on the back button at the bottom, and now we want to click on configure. This is the blog pop-up here. Send our blog post to your inbox. We'll send. We regularly create really interesting blog posts which will help you sell more on your website. Click on Save Changes. Now, so we want to have blog appears after. Let's have the blog pop-up will appear after, let's say, 5 seconds. The contact is added to the contact list. Yeah, we'll just leave that as the blog. So that's just a CRM list so that you can email them in other ways as well. And now if I click, let's switch that on for starters. Create blog sign up email. I'm just going to do this as a blank template. Welcome to our blog. Hi, thanks. Up to our blog. Hi, thanks for signing up to our blog. We look forward to sending you lots of interesting information. And then I'll click on finish there. Great, so now what happens is when I click on, if I go to the blog now, after 5 seconds you get this here. Send our blog post to your inbox. We regularly create really interesting blog posts which will help you sell more on your website. And then I can enter my first name. Actually, I'm going to make up a name for this, right? So, blog tester. And I'll just call it blog. This isn't even really email address, which is a bit rubbish. But if I click on subscribe, send our blog post to your inbox. Thanks for signing up. You'll hear from us shortly. Now, if I then go to the CRM, Marketing Customer Relationship Manager. So we go to the CRM and then choose blog from the drop down. These are the users that have signed up to your blog. You see their blog tester. And of course, you can email them using all of the tools on here. But of course, you don't need to, you can schedule emails to them. That's a different thing. But of course, they will be automatically updated when you create a blog post. And you can look at that as well. If you go to manage your blog. I think I mentioned before, it's this notified bit here. So when you create a new blog post, you'll see a number in there. You'll see the number of people in there who've been notified that you've created a new blog post. So one final thing that I need to show you actually is how to actually link this into your website. So it's all very well me telling you it's at sellerdemo.com/blog, but you need to create a navigation on your actual website so people can find it. So if we go to website, edit your website, edit primary website. So I just want to add it to this kind of nav bar at the top. So I click on the edit menu icon here, click on add new menu item. I'm just going to call it blog. This bit here is what's going to appear in the nav bar. And then you want to use the external URL option. And I will go to so I put an https://www.sellerdemo.com/blog. I don't need it to be an external window. I'm just going to keep it in this one, but you could put it in an external window if you wanted. Click on add new, and then when you close this pop-up, you'll see the blog link appears. And then if I actually go to www.sellerdemo.com, I use a different tab for this. You'll now see we've got the blog on the end. If I click on that, it takes me to the blog. And you can obviously navigate through that and everything. The navigation's still there. So I could still get back to the home page and navigate around the website. But hopefully you can see it makes it part of your website and it's really easy to set up. And one of the main things, though, of course, is hopefully it will drive more traffic to your website and give people really interesting stuff to read, because you're an expert on the products that you're selling, and you want to get that information across. It's the kind of thing that just when you've got 5 minutes, just write a blog post, and you never know, it might attract more people. And of course, your whole back catalogue blog post that you write just continually sits there on the internet, driving traffic to your website. So it's a great thing to do. Hopefully you found this useful. Let us know if you've got any questions.